Hello and welcome to Small
Shut
Potatoes.
the fuck
No,
up.
stop.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop.
Listen.
You don't talk now.
Oh.
No, don't say oh like you don't know what's going on. When does the guest ever start the show? Huh? Okay?
You're right.
Welcome to Small Potatoes, episode 14, where we discuss the inconsequential tidbits of life without Spencer.
And remember, it's all fun and games until someone cares. We don't care about Spencer, so it's all fun and games.
This doesn't feel like fun and games.
We're rolling.
So here's the chain of events.
Hello?
We all get together.
That's not our intro.
Yeah, this is the theme song.
Cue the theme song.
And yes, she's annoying. Give it to me. What's it called?
What's the name of the show?
Hello,
No,
both of you.
you don't talk yet. We introduce you.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yes, I forgot. It's weird to be on
Hello,
this side.
everyone.
Yeah,
Shh,
okay.
stop. Just quiet. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Potatoes, the podcast.
I'm your host, Anthony.
And I'm also your host, Trevor. And today we have a special guest, kind of on a preliminary basis. Spencer. Welcome, Spencer, everyone, to the show.
Hello, everyone. It's really good to be back. Very interesting to see things from this angle on the podcast. I'm excited.
Right. So if anyone has listened to the show before, you know that Spencer was fired under inappropriate circumstances.
Yeah, we had to get HR involved.
We had to distance ourselves from his kind of brand, his online persona, because he was just, for lack of a better word, canceled by us. We kind of doxed him on the internet and decided that he needed to go. And so after the internet responded to our doxing, we fired him. And he's back now, but we're not sure if he's going to stay. We'll see.
And we aren't going to explain the reasoning as to why we rehired him. It has nothing to do with any backlash from the audience or any fan mail that we got. It's just because we are nice people. That's why.
And I'm under strict contract not to mention it at all. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Here
Maybe
we
you
are.
should just talk as little as possible this episode. Maybe that's just for the best.
right. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we won't be asking Spencer any questions or like asking him to like plug his projects or really just asking anything about him. He's kind of just going to be here in the background.
I'm just here to listen and take notes, really.
Good.
He's our scribe.
It's what you should have been doing before, which is why you were probably let go, is because you
You were kinda
weren't
fired, yeah.
taking enough notes when me and Anthony are dishing out golden nuggets of truth. Anyway, let's get to the show.
I have a small potato that I wanted to bring up just right off the bat.
Cool.
It's been happening to me pretty recently. It mostly happens when you live in a house or when you preside into a house that has wood flooring, maybe even concrete flooring, as long as it's not a carpet or a rug.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when you're barefoot in your house and wherever you walk and you're just trying to be comfortable, and all of a sudden 10 minutes later or 5 minutes later or even 2 seconds later, after you go from socks to barefoot or something like that, you now have sand or hair on the bottom of your feet. Like
Yeah.
you've just like mopped up the floor, and now you're like trying to like kick your feet and like dust off whatever. I live in beach areas, so there's a lot of sand on the ground, but that doesn't change the fact that no matter where you go, you just can't get rid of a 100% clean floor without your feet doing the work.
I'm currently in the process of moving, and I'm moving from a hardwood floored house to a carpeted house, and I couldn't be more ecstatic because of the exact thing that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I walk around barefoot, my feet are black afterwards, and it's like, I'm inside. This is gross. Someone mop my floors.
Somebody please. Just
And it's like,
no responsibility from your own self. Is that
Well,
what I'm hearing?
nitty gritty.
Is that also part of my job description now?
Spencer, you should mop my floors.
the thing is that's crazy is that like what's recent, the real nuisance that's been happening is I'll keep my socks on because of this like all day, and then I'm like, I get ready, I take a shower, and now my feet are wet after I've showered, but I've got to somehow get to my bed without touching the floor, which is impossible.
You just walk on the balls of your feet like a child, like on your toes.
But I still have to get into my bed and like brush my feet together, like out off the bed. Like I'm like getting into the car after like
Getting in a car.
dirty day.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like getting in the car. You gotta kick your feet.
After a snow day and you're kicking the snow off your shoes.
I never understood slippers until now. Like,
yeah. House slippers, yep.
as a kid, because you don't give a fuck. You're like, I'll put my dirty feet in bed, whatever. But now I'm like, I need everything clean and pristine, and I totally get why slippers are a thing for nighttime.
Small potato slippers coming to a local Johnson & Johnson store near you.
Sponsored by Skechers. Do they have slippers? Well, they do now, with our faces on them.
What I notice, Anthony, is when I take off my socks on wood floor, my feet are like a little sweaty, and I hate the feeling of like walking on the floor because it's just like this, like, I feel like Squidward walking is like, and that adds to me picking up the dirt, like the stickiness of my feet, picking up dirt and nastiness.
So, as you guys know, I have a funny little disease where my feet sweat a lot, profusely.
Hilarious.
It's literally hilarious.
Profusely, and I leave little wet foot marks everywhere I go. Even in socks, I'll leave footprints. Water, like, I don't know what sweat is. Is it like water and salt? But I leave sweaty footprints everywhere I go, including hardwood floors. And like you were saying earlier, concrete. Whenever I'm walking on concrete, barefoot or socks, footprints everywhere I go. So you know, if a crime was committed,
You know where Trevor's been.
you'll know my alibi.
Oh, God.
A size 7 foot. Look for the size 7 men's shoe.
My feet are bigger than that. Thank you very much. Excuse me. I'm a 9 in some shoes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about the intern guest / new preliminary producer has a small potato for us?
Spec Ops, hit us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so sorry, I don't know really how this show works, so I was kind of unprepared. Okay, so what I really wanted to bring to the table this time, I think, is
This time.
I want to know I want to know how the dullest, most boring sports became the most popular sports to watch. Like football and baseball and NASCAR.
Golf.
Okay, NASCAR, I agree
Golf.
with you with NASCAR.
All of them are so goddamn boring.
Mhm.
They're so slow. Like why aren't sports like roller derby more popular to watch?
Roller derby would
Yeah.
be very interesting.
Even like hockey. Like I feel like that is like a fast-paced, very
Yeah.
intriguing game.
Yeah,
Or soccer. Like I
well-
know that soccer's more popular outside of America.
But nothing really exists outside of America. I mean, come on.
Right, exactly.
Nothing important matters outside of our borders.
Except for our podcast.
Oh yeah, this is an international podcast. Shout out Italy, shout out France.
France, baby.
Shout out England. I think we have another
All
one.
friends across the pond in the UK. They listen.
Anyway, I don't understand how like people can sit in front of their TVs and watch just like the the dullest.
I mean, okay,
Brain dead
baseball,
sports.
boring. Golf, boring. Football, I don't know. Football is
Boring.
Football is
Semi-boring.
slow. Football is semi-boring because it's slow, but it's also a lot of
It's
hitting.
corporate. That's why.
It's very corporate, yes. But at its heart, it's a lot of hitting. It's very visceral. It's very, tough guy hitting each other. Who's tougher? Who's going to push the other guy over there? And who's going to push this guy over there? And they're throwing the ball over there. So I do see the fun in football because
You just sounded like a horse racer announcer.
another sport that
Yeah.
could be more popular.
Could be.
Should be.
Should be.
I think racing is so fun. Are you kidding? Just like the quick intervals of like, oh,
Racing,
yeah, go,
racing
go, go,
is
go.
such a clean type of sport. You know, it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
who won? That guy won.
Yeah.
So, as someone who just saw Real Steel very recently,
Oh fuck yes, dude. With Hugh
like
Jackman,
Beyblades. Why aren't all of these types of games more popular?
dude. Real
I want to let them
Steel
rip.
made me so hyped for boxing. So stoked. Every time I watch that movie, I'm shadow boxing for weeks after.
Yeah, dude, Real Steel. I cannot believe I never saw it. It's probably the best movie I've ever
It's the
seen.
best movie I've ever seen.
It's now your number one favorite movie, both of you? Wow.
No,
It's amazing.
it's good. It's no Gemini Man, but it's good.
Gemini Man. Oof.
It's good. It's quality. It's huge. It's Hugh Jackman who owes people money, and he's like running around, and they're like, "You owe me money, Hugh."
Oh yeah, and he's an estranged father who just wants to make better, but he kind of doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of selfish, but he learns his lesson. He comes around.
Yeah, but like also like Beyblades.
Is that a movie? Did they
Any-
make a movie?
No, Beyblades. Like, like Beyblades. Like, let them rip. Like, when you
Yeah,
like
no,
those-
I thought you
those,
were implying that they made a Beyblade movie. I was kind of excited.
No, I'm saying the sport. Like, why aren't we like making robots fight each other? Because as far as I'm concerned and aware, I'm not really concerned. As far as I'm aware, they don't have feelings yet, so it's better than like
Yet.
making chickens fight.
Not yet.
So as of right now, we're fine.
We should have robots
Just
fighting
get
more.
like two like Windows Vista computers with legs fighting each other. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up, because in this nice little middle period between robots not existing and robots having feelings, we're in this sweet spot of robots exist and they don't feel. So why aren't we, doing more with them
Yeah.
for entertainment purposes?
Why aren't we capitalizing off of
Robot pain.
their lack of
Yeah,
consciousness?
Spencer,
Yeah.
write that down.
I'll write it down. Yeah. Business idea.
That's $1 million
for us,
idea.
For small potatoes.
Yeah.
That is. Billion, maybe.
It might have been in the movie AI. I might just be copying that, but
But they had feelings.
well, yeah, you have to have the game first. If you want robots to have feelings, you have to make them fight each other in a slavery type of way.
You have to make them learn pain first, and then they
Oh,
understand.
so if we invented a robot fighting sport, then they would
We
then
would be the reason.
evolve
they
emotions.
would develop.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I think we
Ugh.
owe it to the technology community to make it happen.
Technology community, we know you're listening. Do it.
Big tech,
You have our permission.
big tech and small tech alike, we are here for you.
Big tech and small tech, they have listening parties for our podcast. I've seen it.
The big small tech Discord server is rife with small potatoes memorabilia, merchandise, fans,
Yeah, slippers, small potato
slippers, the slippers, yeah.
Well, that was a great small potato to our guest, Spencer.
Yeah,
That was good. Good
we'll
job.
have a meeting about that little section of the show afterwards, me and Anthony alone, and we'll discuss, how we feel about you, and maybe we'll keep you around.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not up to Trevor because I'm obviously the leader of the podcast. So he would just say, "This is what I think," and I would say, "Thank you for bringing me coffee, Trevor. Now let me think alone." But yeah, we'll think about it.
So now
We'll
I am
think about
to
it.
understand that I am your secretary and Trevor is your peer assistant.
It's very inconsistent, our job titles.
Yeah.
It's very progressive, very new age.
We're kind of a lateral business model. So I have a small potato that I'd like to bring about, and
You have our permission.
I didn't do any research on this. I kind of just saw the commercial and wrote it down. And we've touched on this subject several times before, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But I saw an ad today, a for serious ad, no foolin', for National Streaming Day.
For serious?
That is a day dedicated to streaming shows and movies on your favorite streaming platforms plus. And I think that is the most boring. Like if our world is a dystopian novel, the author gave up. It's like chapter 25, 26, and the author is just like, fuck, what do I do now? I don't know where to go from here. National Streaming Day.
I love how that is the complete opposite of I think it was Nickelodeon or Disney
Day of Play,
Channel.
the International
The
Day,
Day of
of Play.
Play,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, totally.
The exact opposite.
It's the opposite.
Is it on the same day?
I don't know what day it is, but it was a Disney commercial, which made it even feel creepier and more like gross capitalist. But
Yeah.
we're such an anti-capitalist show, but I don't know.
But we're also making just tons
making
of fucking
tons
money.
of buku bucks, baby.
Oh, yeah. Even Spencer is honestly, as a guest on this show, he's making more money than your entire family would hope. That's how much money's in the podcast industry.
We're actually going to be starting a small potatoes cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of works out that they're just called small potatoes. Like, oh, I have like 10 small potatoes.
Yeah. It works
And
the same way.
It's yeah. So look out for that coming out in the merch store. You can buy packages of our crypto.
I would love for you to try to describe cryptocurrency in depth to our audience.
Yeah,
Well,
Trevor.
you see, there's a blockchain, right? A chain of blocks,
Uh-huh.
and when you stack the blocks up, the chain gets bigger. And then at that point you can mine for the cryptos.
You try to remove the blocks and without knocking over the block.
Right, exactly. So then from there you can convert dollar bills. We have ATMs set up all over the country, and you can convert your dollar bills into our Small Potatoes crypto. And from there you can buy more blockchains. And that's pretty much how crypto works.
Perfect.
Well, you heard it here. Find us on Robinhood.
We are on Robinhood.
We hate capitalism, but find us on Robinhood.
We are on the NASDAQ. And
We are SP.
we're blowing Dogecoin out of the freaking water.
Yeah, Dogecoin's going to the moon, but we're going to the sun? Slightly
Yeah.
farther away?
Yeah.
Slightly farther away?
Slightly farther away.
Just slightly farther.
And I know what you're thinking, but guys, isn't there that famous story of the boy who flew too close to the sun? And we're here to say no, we're not going to fly too close. We're going to go to the sun.
flying straight
We're gonna-
to it.
We're going to smack right through it, blow a hole in the sun like Icarus never could, and then sky's the limit. I mean, we're not even in the sky anymore. We're just
Space the limit.
We're in
galaxy the limit.
nothingness.
Yeah. So look out for Small Potatoes. We are on the rise in virtually every type of market you can think of.
Literally, virtually. Good. That was a good pun.
Ah, thank you.
Because
Yeah,
blockchain.
because of our blockchain, all of our blocks.
So sorry for the people who are listening who only hear ads about. Do you guys I only get ads that say, "We'll give you free money to learn about Bitcoin."
Really?
And that's all of my ads right now. It's just, "We'll give you money to learn about Bitcoin." Coinbase.
That
And you're
sounds like a scam.
You're going to give me money?
Much like
That doesn't sound real.
much like streaming services advertising for National Streaming Day, it just feels like there's a trick there. You guys are up to something.
It's like Target saying National Buy Something at Target Day.
Question for you two.
Prime Day.
Or I guess because Spencer,
Amazon
you're a guest,
Prime
I'm
Day.
really not
Yeah.
asking this question for you, but you can answer it.
Oh, okay. If I want
But
to.
question for you, anybody who wants to answer.
Okay.
If you were to stream on the National Streaming Day,
Contradict yourself like that.
like we all, let's say you were going to stream and you were going to get popcorn and you were going to get some balloons and have a streaming party.
Get my mom a card.
What would you post on Instagram? What would you stream?
That's a good question because I'm inclined to say a Disney Plus original program because they're the ones who gave me the idea behind National Streaming Day.
A Disney Plus original, not a Disney original, a Disney Plus original. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
can't be
well,
Disney.
So it has to be
Alright.
something
yeah, it
created
has
by
to be a
Disney
Streaming Plus original,
specifically.
not just like any old Disney movie on Disney Plus. It has to be a Disney Plus original series or film, TV movie. Which I don't know. Are there original Mulan, right?
What about Soul? Because Soul
I
only
don't think
came
that's a
out
Disney
on
Plus
Disney
original. I
Plus.
think that's a
It's a
Pixar,
Pixar original.
Disney
I know,
production.
but I mean, it didn't come out via anything else.
Right, but I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between Plus originals and Disney originals that were out on Plus, which I don't even like that we're like discussing the nitty gritty of Disney Plus because fuck those guys. That being said, I have an account and I subscribe, but I'm not gonna like give them free advertising, even though we do a lot of that on this show. But anyway, National Streaming Day sounds dumb, sounds like a bad dystopian novel, and the writers of the 21st century just started giving up.
Gosh, do you think that like when people like once the episode ends and it's like, what's the name of this show? Boom, 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 and the song plays and they go, all right,
This show, our show,
I guess I'll just turn on Disney Plus now. And they just watch Disney Plus right after our show. Like that's the next thing they do.
I think that's in the back of their mind.
we very subtly and subliminally inserted that into our audience's brains, and they don't even know why they're watching Disney Plus on National Streaming Day. They just know they're doing it.
They're just watching Cadet Kelly all of
They
a
just had
sudden.
the inclination
Yeah.
to do it.
What would you watch, Spencer?
I
I didn't even answer. I didn't answer though.
think.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you
Oh,
watch, Spencer?
God, you're giving such a long goddamn answer. Let me be the polar opposite of Trevor. Give you a short, concise answer.
There we go. Thank you. I missed this.
Sounds like boring radio.
One that is coming from my own mouth, and one
said
that
you would
I
do it
can
fast?
give to you.
You
One
said you
answer
do it really fast. It's
that I can give to you. Short, sweet, concise, one word, solid answer. And that would be Fleabag on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you switched to Prime. You would take a Disney Plus commercial and go to Prime. I love it.
Yeah, fuck that big corporation. I'd rather go to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, where they're pure storytelling.
Fleabag. Sounds like a good show. Sounds like nobody's seen it or reviewed it ever. Sounds like nobody's heard of it.
Yeah, it's kind of this new like indie hipster new age show.
No, Fleabag's great.
No one really hears about it.
That's a good one. Trevor, over the 10, 20 minutes that we've been doing this bit, have you decided yet what you would watch?
Well, you named a bunch of shows that I watch on Disney, so like it's taken The Bad Batch. How about that? The Bad Batch that just came out.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Well, then looks like I picked a good answer.
Well, then are you gonna explain it?
It's a Star Wars Clone Wars spin-off miniseries, basically.
Isn't the Clone Wars a spin-off?
The Clone Wars is a spin-off of the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, and The Bad Batch is a spin-off of that spin-off.
Okay.
And I heard it's good.
Wait, I thought Rebels was the spin-off of
That was just a separate spin-off.
Oh my goodness.
That was a separate spin-off of
The trilogy.
the Star Wars of the trilogy.
The prequel trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I could be wrong. It could have been a spin-off of the spin-off, but you know, who knows. So, thanks Disney for all you do for us. Shout out Amazon for being the more morally sound company. And let's move on. Oh wait, Anthony, what would you watch?
Very polite. Good job.
I think as of right now, it'd be YuGiOh, hands down. I'd be in the Shadow Realm.
What is
all
that
day
streaming
long
on?
On Netflix. By the way, after 10 years, I finally got my YuGiOh cards in the mail. So I'm ready to duel anybody who wants to duel me. So DM me if you want to duel. And we'll get together in a local park and we'll play. Hopefully it's not windy that day.
You guys can battle over who will have sex with the least amount of people.
Good thing I'm there to win and there to get stars.
Get stars?
I feel like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh joke that no one would know. So let's just go. Let's just move on. You know, they say it's harder than chess. I'm just saying. If I'm good at it and I beat you all the time, Spencer, I'm just saying it must tell you how really fucking smart I am. That's all I'm saying. Does anybody else have a small potato?
I could bring another one up. Although I went last, I think.
Okay, I'll go.
You did
I'll
go last. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one's a fun one. I don't know. I think it's fun. Like we're like kind of approaching summertime, especially California. It's getting a little hotter outside. So this is a good one that anybody who lives in a warmer climate will relate to, especially given the circumstances that it's about to be summertime and the planet is burning and it's on fire. So here we go. Getting into your hot car and then not being able to breathe for a few seconds because it's so hot. Like that's such a small, like it's not even that like it burns you. Sure, if you have leather seats, you burn your legs, especially if you're a girl or if you wear shorter shorts. That's a whole thing. But I'm not even talking about that. Like there's so many things that happen in that. But there's a moment when you get into your hot car where you just can't breathe all of a sudden. The air is just like, there's no oxygen.
You're so disoriented. You don't know if you want to roll down the windows or turn on the air conditioning. You're like,
I just cannot breathe.
Here's what I like to do when I know my car is about to be hot as shit is I open the door, lean in, turn the car on, and but don't get in the car and just stand there. Maybe if I'm with someone, we kind of have that like over the roof chat, with our doors open.
You just kill the planet more. Just turn it
kill
on.
the planet more. Yeah, but
that
I'll
and
be
also
so much
you just have
all the time
I'll
in
be
the world.
so much more comfortable for it.
Thank you.
It's so much more convenient.
Do you just have all the time in the world? When I'm going to my car, I am going somewhere, Trevor.
But it's like 10, 15 seconds of idle chat before you hop in and you let the car cool down, cool off, let the air flow through in and out. And then by the time you sit down, you're like, okay, it's a little bit better. I can breathe.
Stop, just enough. You're done. Here's the thing, Spencer. Let's talk. Because
let's chat.
I just need to talk shit on Trevor for a second.
I'm right here, you guys.
I've never met anybody
But I'm right here.
slower.
Wait, no, I thought we were like mad. I thought we like, fuck Spencer. I thought we were like doing that for a little while.
No, I'm over it.
Did that expire
Sure,
already?
I'm over it. I've never met anybody slower in my goddamn life. And this guy's saying he wants to turn on the car and literally just relax. So sure, guess what? We're going to be late.
Just have a chat with
We're
you.
gonna
Have
be
a
late.
standing
No,
chat
Trevor,
before
you're
we
done.
get in the
You're done.
car.
It's me and Spencer's.
Check
it's
my
our turn.
phone before I can't because it's
It's
illegal.
our
in the
turn,
car.
Mr. Interrupter. Listen. And then he talks about turning on the air, but guess what? All fans in a car have like five speeds. He goes to 2 and then it's like, all right, I guess this is all we have. This is the max amount we can do.
Okay.
And he leaves doing-
Okay.
And I,
You
for
know
my entire
what?
life,
You
for
know
my
what?
About
entire
him.
life
Yes,
that I've known
yes,
this guy,
yes.
I will turn it to 5 and he'll turn it back down. He'll turn it
No.
back
Here's
down.
what pisses me off. Here's what pisses me off about my friend Anthony. He'll get in the passenger seat of your car and just start throwing dials around. He'll just put everything on max, like it's his fucking car. No, you're in my car. We do what I say. If you tell me, hey, can you turn the AC on max? Sure. But he just gets in and just starts turning dials.
He
All the way to the right,
doesn't go
and it's
past
rude
his
as
wife,
hell.
Trevor.
It's so rude. No, it's so rude.
Trevor, it's because
Learn some manners.
literally you move so slow that he could turn it on to 5.
Whatever.
wait
It's
for
my
like 4
car.
seconds, and you're
My
like,
car, my rules, my schedule.
This bit would be so much funnier if Trevor would ever let someone finish a sentence. It's absolutely insane how this guy just can't seem to let someone talk. It's crazy. I apologize. You know what? We're starting our own podcast just so that we can be able to talk
I'm the best host here.
without this guy. Here's the thing.
he's slow to move but quick to interrupt.
Right?
You know?
What a good. We should quote that. It's a 29 minutes in the podcast. I'm clapping. Gonna get that quote. This guy is like the sloth in Zootopia, but when you get to that scene, you put it at half speed, and then you pause it and go to the bathroom, and then slowly walk back, and you're like, "Oh, this scene's still on." Yeah. So fucking slow. Just turn on the goddamn air conditioner at 5, and guess what? You'll be colder sooner.
or it's when he gets in the car and then he sits there. He's driving as if, okay, what am I doing here? Oh, I have to turn on the car? Okay, let's go.
Oh, sure, you butthurt. I'm so sorry. You can talk now. Here, go ahead.
Are you done? I let you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the.
I let you finish all your
By the way-
sentences.
by the way-
I let you finish all your mean sentences.
By the way, I bet any of you listeners who are really avid listeners could time how long we had to speak just now and compare it to all of the other episodes that we've done and be like, that was the longest time Trevor hasn't interrupted anybody in the entire show.
God, what happened to the last 2 weeks when we were all like, fuck Spencer, we're having fun by ourselves. As soon as Spencer gets back, we get like 10 minutes of good riffing on him, and then it's back to shitting on me. I don't like this show anymore.
I just
I don't like what it's turning into.
I tried to play the part of office bitch. I couldn't.
He ain't
I
no
couldn't
bitch.
do
He
it.
ain't no
I'm
punk
so
bitch.
sorry.
And the thing is you had to be like, when I go to the car, I just lounge around. You just had
It doesn't matter what I do. When you're in my car, you follow my rules. You don't start turning dials willy-nilly.
Dude, when it's 110
It's so obnoxious
degrees in
what
your
you do,
car and you have
Anthony.
leather seats, yeah, just turn the dial to 5.
Well, maybe if you had chatted with me outside the car while I turned it on, we wouldn't have this fucking issue. But everything's got to be so fast. You know what? Life is short. Take your time.
So what? No.
Life is short. Try to do as much as fucking
Yeah, so
possible.
here's the thing. I will say this, Trevor, to make it easier on you, I don't think I've ever met anybody
You've never made it
in
easier
a
on me.
car situation who is faster than Spencer and I. We get in, we drive, we get out, we go. Like it's
I get out before
Before
this
the car's
car
off.
is even
And
fully
how much did you experience? Nothing, because you were just going.
I just hope there's a valet there to turn off my car.
fast.
I literally just get out and I'm like, keep it running. Throw my keys in a general direction.
Doors open. There are the keys somewhere.
I can't even corroborate what you're claiming, Anthony, because I don't think you've ever driven me anywhere. Yet, pretty sure all these problems are stemming from the fact that I drive you everywhere you need to go, and you've lived in another state for 4 years, for 3 years, and yet I'm still finding myself always driving you around and complaining about the way I do it. So maybe just get in someone else's car and we won't have these issues.
Yeah,
How about that, friend? How about that, pal?
Just so you guys
buddy
know,
of mine. Go
this
fuck
is
yourself.
we struck a real chord. This is definitely like he's joking, but he's got some anger in there because he has driven me around, and for as long as he's driven me around, I've never seen 3 on the fan setting, or I've never seen past 10 on the radio. It's just
It's loud and we can't talk if it's all the way up.
it's crazy. In leather seated car in Orange County, inland, by the way, not near the beach. So it's not like there's no ocean layer hitting us. There's no ozone around there. It's just dry as fucking.
Not the right words. So sorry.
It's as sweaty as I
Well,
am right now.
he's right. There is no ozone. There's no ozone.
Yeah, there's no
so-
ozone left. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to disappoint Spencer.
Which again, big potato, but
So what was the small potato? Being slow? No, not being able to breathe in a hot car.
hot cars.
It's not being able
Hot
to breathe,
cars.
and that's because we just sit in a hot car.
Okay.
When we're going anywhere.
ready for this smooth as fuck segue into the next topic.
Please, yes.
Speaking of the word hot, I have a theory that I've been working on, a theorem, an idea that I feel like could be written about in books, papers, scholarly reviews. And it's the idea that there are basically 2 types of hot pertaining to people, not temperatures. There are 2 kinds of hot people, right? There is a capital H hot and a lowercase h hot.
Yeah, I'm following.
And
You're just taking
And-
forever to get to the point. It only makes my point more valid.
As always.
okay. And there's lowercase h hot, and that's
Mm-hmm.
someone that you're attracted to. Hey, that person is hot. I want to have intercourse with them, right? And then there's a capital H hot, and that's more of like, oh, they're like a quote hot person. Like the hot person is in quotes. Like, oh, that's a hot chick, right? That's like an Instagram baddie, or like someone you're not attracted to personally, but you know, like, oh, that's a hot person. You know what I mean?
I do, but I've never related to something less.
Wait, hold on.
Like okay.
Wait, so you don't want to have sex with these people? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, a capital H can also be a lowercase h and vice versa, but they're not mutually exclusive, but they're not the same thing. Because capital H hot is like, oh, you're like the type of person who like always looks good and always like dresses nice, and you're in shape and you take a lot of pictures
Okay.
and people think you're hot. But like, I'm not into you, but you're like a hot person or whatever,
You're
right?
conventionally hot. Yeah.
Conventionally hot, objectively
So there's people
hot.
that you're attracted
But then
to,
lowercase
and
h.
people you're not attracted to. But in those 2 categories, some of them are hot and some of them are not. Is that what you're trying to say?
There's no lowercase h hot is subjective. It's a subjective hot, right?
Yeah. It's your own attraction.
You're like, oh, I think they're
okay,
hot.
I get it.
And a capital H
Is
hot
objective.
is like someone who has like
Objectively
10,000 followers on Instagram and they have a makeup deal. And you're like, okay, I don't want to fuck this person, but like clearly all these other people do. And like their whole life revolves around
Right.
looking
Let's
good
be honest though.
and
Do you
and
really
being
Do
attractive.
you really not want to fuck this person, or are you just kind of like part of your jealousy is getting into it, and you're like Justin Bieber, for example. Like, are you a little jealous of him, and that's why you don't want to fuck him, or it's just like,
Well, don't
don't
get me
wanna fuck.
wrong. Like a capital H could be a lowercase h also. Like I don't want to fuck Justin Bieber. I'm not into penises, but I can admit that he's an
But you
attractive guy.
wouldn't?
He's modeled for magazines.
but I feel like how many times does those opportunities are just come up?
Well, of all his DMs, I don't really respond.
Wow, Anthony, this is the first time I've seen you
Spencer, I see you.
like this. I see you.
No, I just think it's ridiculous. There's got to be some sort of
Like
leeway
those girls,
for the.
those girls that you went to high school with, who they're always done up, they're always full face makeup, and they're always taking selfies at the gym, and they're always looking good or whatever. But you're not like, oh, I want to fuck this girl. You're just like, oh, look at you, Mrs. Hot Girl, Miss Hot Chick.
I want Spencer to chime in.
Yeah. I am trying to like think of how I can word what I want to say to Trevor. But basically what you're saying is there's a beauty standard, right? And
Sure.
social media particularly, where people
Sure.
are like, oh, like this is what is hot.
Yeah,
And I
there's
agree.
like
There is.
conventionally, objectively.
There's
hot.
some dudes that I see on Instagram where I'm like, I get the appeal, sort of. Like
Right.
the nicely done hair, the clean shaven face,
Yes.
whatever, all of that jazz.
Mhm.
But like, that's not me. That's not my type.
Right.
Oh, not
That's
your
your
type.
capital H.
Okay.
Hot.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
what's your small potato? That there are hot people.
Fuck you. That's it. It's the.
That there
It's
are
that there's
hot
two
people in
kinds
this
of
world
hot. It's that there are two
that you
types
don't
of
wanna
hot.
fuck.
There are two types of hot.
Congratulations.
There are capital H hot, lowercase h hot, and some of them you want to fuck, some of them
to
you
be
don't.
honest,
Sometimes there's overlap.
I'm so glad that you have just
Yeah.
figured out how
to
attraction
be honest,
works.
I will say this
You
is
know
the first
what?
time I've heard Trevor say that he didn't want to fuck at least some people. So this.
Then wouldn't that make me the authority on the matter?
Oh well, I'm glad that we figured it out here, and I'm glad that everyone was able to chime in with their own opinions, and the people listening were like, yeah.
I brought this up to my coworkers, and they also didn't appreciate it. So
Then
I don't
I'm
need
glad-
you guys
I'm glad
to.
you're-
I know that I came up with
Well,
something
I'm
smart.
I'm glad that you're testing it out
Hey,
before the podcast.
I want all the listeners to DM us and tell us if you resonated with that last
With
subject.
capital H or lowercase h hot.
Capital H or lowercase case H hot.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And then
it's a thing. It makes sense. One is objective, one is subjective.
you're just creating a new term
Already
for
exists.
what already exists as conventionally attractive.
I'm sorry, what is this fucking show that we do? What do we do here if not that? God damn
Oh,
it.
and we were
You guys turned on me in the last bit, and now the new bit, you're still in that
How
mindset
funny.
of fuck you.
It's just so hard
how
not
funny
to right now.
is it that
It's
this guy
God.
is so upset now because we turn on him for one bit. We literally for 2 episodes
I don't
just
want to be
shit
here
on
anymore.
Spencer, and now Trevor's like, no, mommy,
I liked it better
mommy,
before.
please help me.
I liked it a lot. I liked this show the last 2 weeks when I was in on the joke, not the joke itself.
How refreshing it is that you're back. By the way, thank you.
You have been the joke for probably 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe.
Too
That's a large piece
long.
of the show.
Too long.
Oh shit, that's so funny.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Well, that's great. You made me laugh today. That's for sure. That's what I can go home knowing. So is there any other potatoes that we got to talk about?
Yeah. I kind of want to bring up a small potato that is wildly different.
Is it
I
an
think.
actual small potato?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow,
So
that's a first.
yeah, maybe this is the first for this episode. So I just want to talk about, you know how some people call sandals thongs?
Oh yes.
Like I get it, but also I hate it so much.
Agreed.
It like, when did that start? Was that the first thing that they were called? Were they always called thongs? And we just
I know old
when
people
we
call them
started
thongs.
wearing when we started wearing underwear up our booty cheeks, we started to say, okay, that's thongs, and now these are all sandals.
Well, because you can see how they call it that because of
Yeah.
the part that goes into your toe looks like the same type of. That must be what a thong is like 2 straps
Something
that go
that
into
goes
one.
like in between.
Yeah. It's definitely an old person thing because old people didn't have G strings back then.
I just want to phase that term out for sandals because I really dislike
It's funny because
it.
when people bring that up,
Yeah.
the first time they brought it up, I was always so just so confused when they started talking to me and be like, "Dude, I got
Yes.
fucking sand in my G string," and I'm like, "We're at church," you know. I just like I was always so confused. What? Why are you telling me this? You're my uncle.
Your uncle wore flip flops to church.
Now, flip flops. I love the name flip flops. Keep that forever. The onomatopoeia.
It's a perfect
mwah.
onomatopoeia. Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
They flip and they flop.
But thongs? Yeah, don't love thongs. And especially when women's bathing suits started becoming thongs,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
thong-like.
Mm-hmm.
It's now very confusing. Are you wearing a thong on your ass or are you wearing a thong on your feet?
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've personally never worn a thong, but I find it really interesting how some people hate them and some people love them, like the feeling in their booties.
So we're now moving on to thongs.
So
Thongs
I've
as
never
underwear.
personally
If you want.
wore a lot of things, but it baffles me how some people like certain things and then don't like other things.
Okay.
It's just so crazy.
Okay. You know
Like how
what?
you can be attracted
I
to,
can leave.
to some people.
I can log off if
Hey.
you're just gonna shit on everything I say.
You know how there's some people that wear thongs and you're like,
Do I
wanna
even need
fuck
to
'em.
be here?
And there's other people
Do
that wear
you
thongs
need
and you're
me
like, I don't
here
really wanna fuck
if you're just gonna shit on everything that comes out of my mouth, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea? Because the last few things were good points.
I don't think that loud.
But you don't care about you don't care about good points, do you? You just want to wait till I talk so you can shit on it.
It's all
I know how you operate.
It's all about the comedy. It's all about what's gonna make the people last while they're. What are they doing? What did we say that they're doing again? Oh, right before they turn on Disney Plus. We want them to laugh. And then after this show's over, they're gonna turn on Cadet Kelly or The Mandalorian, and they're just gonna sit there.
Well, I
and
think
celebrate streaming
an
day.
audience knows when the talent is having fun, and I'm not having fun. So they're gonna know
Yeah,
that.
but our guest is,
and they're not gonna
our
like
guest
the
is having
show.
so much
They're not
fun.
gonna enjoy the show.
The show right now is about the guests.
It's true.
Me, Trevor.
That's a conflict of interest. He's part of it. He's shitting on me too.
Do we need to do any more potatoes, or like are we good?
I'd love to get off this fucking call.